I'll leave the embarrassing moments to you, that you can get away with that. And Luigi's been here for
27 years in all, including my student days.
okay.
That deserves a round of applause in itself, mate.
The next bit I'm going to say is based on the fact that on the HR system it says you've been here since the 3rd of April 1989, because otherwise it all falls over. But
That's correct.
But marvellous, thank you very much. And it was that long ago that Millwall were in the top flight at the time.
Correct.
Yeah. And they were bookended by 3-0 defeats from West Ham and Sheffield Wednesday. Trying to find things that happened around that time. And Madonna's Like a Prayer was #1, which seems
We will be playing them next season, of course, when West Ham comes down to Chelsea.
which seems crazy.
Yeah, seen that coming.
That's absolutely fair enough. Now I've known Luigi for 5.5 years since I started, and we've been working together closely, and his contribution towards the work of the business development unit and for the skills people has been enormous over the time that we worked together. And we think, and you might disagree now actually, that it's the best employer-facing hospitality business in London. And you've been absolutely core to setting it up right from the beginning, and all of the work that you've done. Some of the fantastic projects that Luigi's worked on in terms of training the school cooks. He invented the e-kitchen, I believe, as well.
I tried.
I'm playing at home today, so yeah.
The
code.
You don't look like Robin Hearn.
I'm on camera.
Oh, right, okay.
Setting up the code, the GCDA projects, doing healthy food for people that are in hospitals and schools. Done fantastic work, fantastic reputation with customers. I don't think I've met anyone who's worked within the skills people of the business development unit who's so committed to learners and to their success, and to the employees, and so popular with the customers. This is all true, and this isn't the sort of thing you just say to leaving them, but it is all true. I mean, we've met customers that were taught by you 20 years ago, that have graduated, that I believe you didn't put them off with a lifelong love of catering and hospitality. Yeah, absolutely. So we're really grateful for everything that you've done, and as a number of people have said to me already today, you're going to be missed when you go, and the office won't feel quite the same without you. So I'd like to wish you the best of luck, and thank you for everything you've done for us since I've been here in the last 5.5 years. Thank you. And before we move to giving you a little gift that I think Kevin's going to say for you.
Some things never change, do they? We don't get that in Hammersmith, get no trouble there whatsoever. Okay, now I've also taken some notes. The reason I took notes is because Luigi has done so much. I kept on thinking, because I prepared well for this on the train over. God, he did that as well, God, he did that as well. So I've actually done some notes that I don't normally do. So if you forgive me for referring to my notes, I'm going to. Some of you may not know that Luigi and I first met one summer's day in, what's it called, SE4, with this Margaret Asamoah looking at me saying, put this plastic coat on, and Luigi put his plastic coat on. Luigi sitting there. It was interview day for the curriculum manager for hospitality. And Luigi was one of my competitors, I'd like to think one of the major competitors on that day. And we went through the whole interview process, and fortunately they made the right decision and gave me the job. And so then that's how I first met Luigi, which was actually just over 8 years ago, I believe, Luigi. We were both young men at the time.
You used to have black hair then.
Yeah, I died. And at that time, when I first arrived, as you can imagine, and I've got to tell the truth here, Luigi wasn't my best friend, as you can imagine, and quite rightly, I wouldn't have been his best friend if it happened to me either. And there was a bit of barrier breaking down there to go, and the barriers did break down, and Luigi became eventually one of my very best friends. But we're going to that later. Once Luigi started here, we decided we actually wanted to modernise what we were doing here, and so I said to Luigi, we were still hating at the time, you're all going to go out and do industrial updating. Well, I don't know what do I bloody need to do that for. So I said, well, you can go wherever you like, Luigi, and I will send you there. And this bugger here says, I want to go and work for Angela Hartner, who at the time was come up and coming Michelin star chef, working for Gordon Ramsay. I'm going, oh my God, me and my big mouth. I'll do that, Luigi. What Luigi didn't know was that one of my students was the HR manager at the Conway. where Angela Hartnett was.
Joe
Beard. Now works for skilled people sometimes. So I rang her and I said, hey Joe, do us a favour. I was a different company, which put me in touch with the right person, and I managed to get Luigi a placement. And the lady from Ramsey Holding says, listen, we don't carry people here. She said, I hope he's prepared to work. And Luigi then was a bit of a large chap, you know, he's lost a lot of weight. And I thought, I don't know. So I went up to Luigi. He didn't used to work out then. I went to Luigi and I said, look, mate, I said, you've got to work here, mate. You've got to work. And he said, Kevin, I won't let you down. And we still weren't the best of mates at the time. I don't know. Big win. And I tell you, has never worked so hard in nobody's life. He was doing 25-hour days according to his overtime playing for me. And that's never been very good. But anyway, so I signed the form. Stephen wasn't here at the time, so it's all right.
It was Martin Bennett.
Who would sign anything? And Luigi came back. He had been doing these 16-hour days from 18-hour days he had been doing, picking herbs, bless him. But he stuck by it. And of course, Angela's from Italian heritage, as Luigi is. And they got this great friendship going. And not long after that, we started to have students on work placement there, students getting jobs. But one of the biggest coups, which I took the credit for, was we got Angela Hartnett here to do the governor's dinner. And that was our first big star we got here at the time after I just first arrived. And the principal didn't even know she was actually, but she rang up one of her mates who knew her, she went, oh my God, you've got Angela. And she's like, how did you do that, Ruth? And she goes, well, you know. That's Ruth's word. And so it was so fortunate because Angela came here and we were supposed to having some big minister coming, weren't we?
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was now.
Charles Clark.
Charles Clark. And he couldn't have arrived because they had one of these whipping things that Westminster like they do. Not much they do now as the Tories, but the same kind of thing. And so he had to go off, and the only person we had here was Angela Hartnett. So it actually saved the day, because all we had to pay all this money to come, and there was nobody, no speakers, no nothing. So poor Angela was put on the spot and managed to do it. So that was his first coup here. I took the credit, I got the kiss from David. I took the credit. But Luigi actually did that and got Angela here.
You got one.
And then, not so long after, Luigi we got a code status, and we wanted somebody dynamic to go out there and work with the employees and work with other colleges. We had the interview process, and Luigi applied. And the job was Luigi's, and it was a fantastic appointment, because from then on, it really started to take this college Department of Hospitality forward. He forged his way forward, made lots of connections with industry, which is why it fed into the skills people later on, but also other colleges. A lot of the colleges haven't really heard of us. Heard of Westminster Kingsway as being this great hospitality college. And he started bringing in other people from other colleges here with this dissemination of code which we had to do. So we brought people into e-learning with Robin and showed the kitchen that Robin and you had done.
No, I didn't say I'd done it,
Okay.
I did. Robin said he did it, I did it.
And also then we had e-learning here, we had differentiation, and we did fantastic thing at the Marriott. We had 50 employers stood up at Marriott to look at new MVQ standards and help us to advise us on how the curriculum was going forward. These were major steps forward. If we tried to get that many employees to an event, it just wouldn't happen. It happened because of Luigi's charisma, and now Luigi managed to bring all these people together. He then became the delivery manager. Now that was by accident actually, because Mark mentioned the dinner ladies, because I was actually in where I was having a little drink with Jamie, and he says, next best big thing will be dinner ladies. And he's probably just going to come out 2 or 3 weeks later. And so we came back, and I tipped off Adam. Where's Adam?
I'm here.
Hello, darling.
When you want to get mentioned.
I tipped off Adam. I could not mention it. And we kind of chased these dinner ladies down. We got them on board, and we had 30 dinner ladies. And none of them could cook. There were no kitchens, there was nothing. I thought, what the heck, we'll do it anyway. Anyway, got in a bit of trouble with that, and so I thought, who shall I turn to sort this out? So it was your man here, Luigi. And he did sort it out, and he did get these dinner ladies through, all apart from Nora, who was the gobby one. We then wrote a book about food hygiene, she's in her fridges. Anyway, didn't get her through, everybody else we got through, and then Luigi was part of the process of actually getting this new nutrition qualification for school dinner ladies, now delivering across the country, and that was Luigi's actually helping to do that with City and Guild. So, fantastic credit to him there. I think this is probably quite only all the stuff he's actually done. It wasn't me I was writing it down, because I took credit for it all.
And the pay rises.
Luigi came very much from the hospitality group, and there was this society for hospitality managers in education called PACE, Professional Association of Catering Educators. And Luigi was an instrumental in that, and we'll see some karaoke later. One of the legendary things was his karaoke at Norwich, 2007. And that's gone down the annals of history, because Luigi was doing a karaoke, and you can imagine a bunch of catering people together, one or two lollipops or stuff and stuff like that. We were all plastered, we were up on the stage. Myself, Jeff Booth from Westminster Kingsway is the most staid man you ever meet in all your life. We're on the stage with Luigi going, rock and roll. And that went down absolutely through annals of history, and they still talk about it now, Luigi's karaoke night. But there is, Luigi's been a great friend to me. And something about the man is, I don't want to say this, but actually about a year after my appointment, he actually came up to me and said, "They got it right, Kevin." And that's the depth of the man. That actually, he kind of put that on board. He actually had the guts to go out and say that, which actually I would never do. I think that was a really big thing for him to say. The only thing I do regret with Luigi, and I do really regret this, and hopefully we can work on this again tonight, is that the one thing Luigi can never do is drink more than 2 pints. Which is not good, because I'm legendary for being the last one in the bar at the PACE conferences. So I took my apprentice along with me, and he never got past 2 pints without falling over.
I was the apprentice.
He was the apprentice, and despite CPD after CPD after CPD, Luigi still cannot drink more than 2 pints. But we will work on it again, Luigi.
We will, Kevin.
And we continue working on it until you pass your level 1. Drinking ability.
Yes.
I can't really thank Luigi for his support. He has been an amazing person. And I had actually learned something, and then it's been changed by one of my Italian colleagues. So if I get this wrong, do forgive me. But if I can ask you to raise your glasses.
Ready, yeah?
I didn't say tribal, I said great. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Ready.
Luigi. Collega, ispirazione,
Bravo.
buon amico.
Bravo. Are you going to say something? Yeah.
Everything he says is really true.